Left out during the elementary school picnic. Left out during the middle school camp. Left out during the high school trip. Yu IlHan was always alone. But when the entire world disappeared, he was left behind. Ignored by humanity. Forgotten by angels. Abandoned by God. For 1,000 years, Yu IlHan stayed on Earth alone. No friends. No enemies. Just endless time and relentless training. While humanity leveled up in other worlds, he sharpened his skills in silence. Crafting. Hunting. Becoming something beyond human. And now, humanity has finally returned. The great cataclysm has begun. And the man who trained alone for a millennium is about to show the world what true preparation looks like. I hunt alone, too. His thoughts became complicated. The time he randomly thought it shouldn't be over 200, right? Was actually 1,000 years, and the animals who had matured well like him evolved into monsters to take revenge for the 1,000 years of solitude. Kuhan! But so what? After finding the horde of monsters that showed themselves on the streets, and the leader-class huge direwolf which led them, Yu IlHan thought while moving faster. No matter how long the time that had passed was, it couldn't change his current situation. Even if the monsters on Earth were stronger than those in other worlds, I don't even know how strong they are since Nynaeve went there. Fuck, so it's none of my business, he thought. There was one thing that was sure, that I'm stronger than that thing. Kahoing! His steel spear stabbed head-on in the giant direwolf's face, which didn't know that Yu IlHan was approaching thanks to his passive concealment. The spear, which was accurately stabbed between its eyes, pierced everything from its spike-like fur, hard skin, the complexly formed muscle, its flesh which strangely tightened to block foreign substances, and the bone which developed to be stronger than steel, to smash its brains. You have earned 12,904 experience. You have earned the record of LV35 Brown Direwolf. You have become level 9. For strength, 2 agility, 2 health, 2 magic increases. You cannot become level 10 without obtaining a class. All records acquired before obtaining a class will be calculated after generating a class. All of your records will be materialized into possibilities. From the following jobs you can select. At the same time, the enormous experience and record that the direwolf had was all absorbed by Yu IlHan. Countless texts appeared on his retina. However, Yu IlHan had to move his body quickly without even the opportunity to recognize that. It was because the monsters on the streets attacked him fiercely, much less being frightened after their leader died. Fuck monsters! So many. One man is fighting them. Wait. I will emit fire from my hands. Soldiers. Really? These guys are never here when we need them. At almost the same time as Yu IlHan's preemptive strike, the people moved around chaotically after they recognized that monsters were attacking. Whether it was running away quietly, calmly reporting, looking for the military, or looking for signs to shield themselves in. They didn't seem to have gone to other worlds for 10 years for nothing as they reacted calmly to the monsters. But amidst of them, a few clumsy people were trying to show off their non-existent fireballs with their non-existent mana. Kuwa! And a wild dog which disdained that man barked lowly and attacked him. Yu IlHan, who half expected that situation, swung his spear once to throw them all apart and kicked off the ground. The moment the strength stored in his body kicked the ground, it was purely turned into thrusting force and his body shot out like a cannonball. After focusing his strength by leaning forward in that state, Yu IlHan pointed the spear towards the front with both of his hands. At the end of the trajectory that the spearhead drew was the wild dog's head, which was about to assault the man. Cack! You have earned 1,700 experience. You have earned the record of LV18 Wandering Dog. For a dog, it has a too cool of a name. While tackling only in his heart, Yu IlHan landed on the ground. The monsters which didn't deviate their gazes from him from the beginning, glared Yu IlHan with a, "I will kill that guy and live" gaze while shortening their distances with Yu IlHan, after their comrade died. Anyway, it was fortunate that other people weren't in danger now. Step back, Yu IlHan warned shortly while looking back. However, the man who was rescued after failing to shoot fire from his hands was surprised when he saw the IR*NM*N mask that covered Yu IlHan's face and shouted,
Yu IlHan mask.
Someone who heard that blurted out. Perhaps? Sungdine Bolt? What? Did you just say Sungdine Bolt? That cheap IR *NM*N mask. It's the real Sungdine Bolt. From some time, that embarrassing nickname was spread out loud. Yu IlHan hid his feelings to cry and turned back. His feelings were complicated. He was slightly happy that his name was known, but he was still sad. I said step back. Cheer up, Sungdine Bolt. Wow, so strong. Just how many levels did he level up in one day to become like that? He got his second job, definitely. The returnees were adapting too well to the situation. They all distanced themselves and watched the fight. Someone even took out a smartphone and recorded Yu IlHan's fighting on a video. Yu IlHan thought it was truly fortunate that he was wearing a mask and swung the steel spear. His spear, which would have already been ripped apart if it was made of ordinary steel, was in reverse, showing its might by breaking all their teeth. You have earned 3,300 experience. You have earned the record of LV26 Grey Wolf. You have earned 1,950 experience. You have earned 1,500 experience. Countless texts were printed on his retina. He thought that not leveling up despite killing so many of them was related to class or whatever that popped up when he killed the direwolf. But as the monsters didn't even give him room to rest, he had no time to read and confirm it. Of course, these things were insta-kills, so it didn't matter if he leveled up or not. But it was when he decreased the number of monsters about 20. From the hole where the monster horde first appeared, a big-sized wolf popped out and howled loudly. Go! It's the second strongest. It seems like it's passing some sort of order down, so be careful. So they can even pass the authority of control and even give orders, at Erda's warning, which made him instantly realize that the monster's intelligences were high. He turned the gear upwards in his heart. I can't hear what the people were chatting loudly about back there. The important thing was me, and the things I had to kill with my spear. He thought at that moment, 5 wild dogs, which were distancing themselves from him and only watched while on guard, attacked him simultaneously. Kuhan. Left leg, right arm, left shoulder, head. Their figures of attacking different parts of his body when assaulting him reminded him of the humans' bullying. T/N. Ross was Hupgurkser, it's some martial art, but it's basically bullying martial art. Fu. Hap. When he saw that the move Yu IlHan chose was attacking. If he fell back, then his posture would become unstable and be in a state where he would receive continuous attack easily. And if he defended, then he will get bitten somewhere. Stepping out with his right foot, he leaned forward and shot the spear to smash the head of the one aiming for his right leg. With its corpse still stuck on the spear, he swung it and struck the one aiming for his left leg. The strength stat that should be calculated to several tens of levels suppressing the wild dog's body was truly a frightening scene. You have earned 1,300 experience. You have earned 1,250 experience. However, by that time, the third dog was already within 10 centimeters of his left shoulder. A trajectory that wouldn't hit even if he swung the spear. He let go of his left hand holding the spear and swung his arm. At that moment, the sharp scythe that popped out from his wrist cut apart its mouth. Kairak! He retracted his left arm to hold the spear with both of his hands, and he smashed hard on the ground with the spear while stepping out with his left foot. After getting rid of the dog's corpse with that shock, he struck upwards with both the fourth and fifth dog in the trajectory which were about to bite his head and right arm respectively. Hup! Yo! Kahung! The moment after the sharp spearhead shined due to the sunlight, the two's bodies snapped in half and was trashed onto the ground. You have earned 1,400 experience. You have earned 1,330 experience. Lastly, Yu IlHan finished the fight by stepping on one of the dog's head, which was wailing on the ground and had half of its mouth gone. He had finished 5 of them in a blink of an eye. Kahang. However, the wolf which watched that cried short as if he disdained it. The moment Yu IlHan raised his head while thinking to smash it apart after rushing up, a different scene came inside his view. Cuck! Please, help me. Kuh! Did it have an objective to distract him from the beginning? It had procured a hostage by moving fast in those few seconds. Where? The hostage wasn't from the streets. The crowd from the streets were also shocked after they recognized that there was a hostage, and that was just now. There were many kinds of humans, such as those who ran away too late fearing that they would also be captured, and humans resolving to rescue the hostage. However, he was able to realize soon. The time that these monsters appeared and the time that Yu IlHan found these monsters couldn't have been the same. So, in other words, these things have already assaulted once or maybe more, and may have procured the hostage from then. It looked at Yu IlHan. Its disgusting-looking mouth and the protruded fangs seemed as if it was lagging at Yu IlHan. Although Erda said that killing humans to earn experience and record was a monster's instinct, it was even temporarily suppressing its instinct to try to corner Yu IlHan. The aim of that action is to suppress Yu IlHan's actions. That wolf had the most simplest but efficient scheme to defeat Yu IlHan by attacking his weak point while he couldn't move properly due to minding the human under its foot. It was a strategy only possible because of having seen through human psychology. And if it really thought that, then it had judged Yu IlHan wrongly. Because the moment he saw that, Yu IlHan threw the spear in a straight line without any hesitation. Cack! The moment Yu IlHan showed movement, the wolf panicked and put a little strength into his foot. But returning the spear that was already out of his hands was impossible even for Yu IlHan. It had become a situation where threatening didn't work. The wolf, which figured that out not too late, tried to kill the hostage then avoid the attack. And the moment it thought that and was about to put strength into its foot, the steel spear penetrated its head. You have earned 6,700 experience. You have earned the record of LV32 Cunning Big Wolf. Yu IlHan thought of himself as an ordinary human. He wanted to save a person if that person was in a crisis, and would help even if he had to exert himself if he could. To him, who had lived for 1,000 years without human presence, a living and breathing human had become a precious existence. However, if he was asked, "Can you put yourself in danger to do that?" then he would just laugh it over. That should be the same for other people. A person had to respect her own life as much as she respected others' lives. Just that was what was different for him from criminals, was that it was possible to judge the situation instantly and move and not show panic in the face of a crisis like other people, who may even be selfish. Go! Key! Immediately after Yu IlHan threw the spear to kill the big wolf, the remaining wolves and wild dogs simultaneously assaulted him. It was obvious that they were trying to do something now that he had lost his weapon, but their current actions were also a bad move. This was because Yu IlHan's body, which learned all kinds of martial arts with Veil Tudo at the beginning, was a weapon enough to kill them even without the unique rank steel spear. Fu! Yu IlHan laughed at the fact that he could now relieve some anger when he was coincidentally feeling down, and he threw his body towards them. Kang! Cack! Yelp! Wow! Even on dog days I wouldn't be able to kill that much. Did you see that eye poke? Look at him poking the eyes with his index and pinky fingers just because their eyes are wide. Such a meticulous guy, that. Someone save that girl. Quickly. She's about to be run over by monsters. Second platoon, move out fast. And at that moment the soldiers had arrived at the scene. Fortunately, as they had arrived before the monsters' indiscreet rage, due to having lost their leader, spread to the civilians, succeeded in dragging out the collapsed hostage before she was injured. And after that, to suppress the monsters, they... Don't shoot. Sungdine Bolt is inside there. You should have come earlier. Soldiers are as slow as always. Wait. Hold your fire. Didn't you hear that there's a person? They had to retract their barrels while panicking due to the people's barrage of complaints before they even got to shoot. Meanwhile, Yu IlHan severed the monster's breath one by one while moving like water. After he thrashed the two leaders, it didn't seem like there was a new one to take the lead, so the monster's fighting methods became instantly simple, and Yu IlHan, who was rampaging, could process all the monsters at that place within 3 minutes. It was a truly dominating battle. You have earned 1,100 experience. Fu! After Yu IlHan severed the last wild dog's breath, he sighed at the fatigue that came at him and raised his head. The same type of gazes that looked at him after he rampaged at the college campus yesterday were mercilessly striking him. And there was one that gave him the most fierce gaze, and it was the gaze of the platoon leader. It was a second lieutenant that had a pressed beret on her head. She shouted while looking directly at the IR*NM*N mask that Yu IlHan was wearing. I finally found you. Sungdine Bolt. Are you the main culprit behind the rumors? Author's notes: the activities of the returnees will be revealed bit by bit from now. The brand that MC prefers is *QL*. Finding him, who has a generalized loner skill attached on him, is harder than finding Wally. I hunt alone. 3. The soldiers drove away the civilians with the excuse that monster might appear again. Even if they went to other worlds for 10 years, the civilians couldn't boast about themselves in front of rifles, right? The people obediently left. Phew. It's fortunate that we meet you again like this. How could both of the soldiers that he met 2 times be both women? He was curious, but that was that. He could tell what the soldiers wanted to say to him without asking. As for the reply, Yu IlHan had already prepared one. I've looked for you a lot. Really? Why did you leave when a person was about to speak to you? I didn't go. I was packing up right in front of you. He thought. Ha! I wouldn't be treated like this if I wasn't wearing a military uniform. I'm really frustrated. I should just throw all of it away or something. Second Lieutenant. Sungdine Bolt isn't listening to your words right now. Yu IlHan moved his hand up to hold the spear by the head as he started to dismantle the monster bodies while using it as a knife. It was unbelievably uncomfortable, but he had no choice as the leathers of the wild dogs and the wolves couldn't be cut without the sharpness of his spear. He could schedule a day to make a knife. And for that, too, he needed a personal workspace. Just listen when a person's talking. I'm not listening. I'm not doing it. I'm not helping. Yu IlHan replied shortly. So you don't have to say anything. Do you perhaps have any feelings against the country or the military? He didn't have anything against them. He, too, felt proud when the Korean sports representatives in world-scale competitions achieved good results, and he also believed that there was a value in Korean history and tradition. He never regretted being born Korean. It was just that such a sense of belonging to the country cannot direct Yu IlHan's choices, and his fate. Just that. Yu IlHan, who was peeling the wild dog's skins in a blink of an eye, questioned whether he really needed to take the wild dog's bodies when there were a lot of wolf bodies. Due to the level differences, the dog's leather, teeth, and bones were obviously weaker than that of the wolf's. Of course, it was frightening that it had higher defensive stats than steel plate armor. The dog bodies, would you like to buy them? I will dismantle it for you. With Yu IlHan, who changed his attitude as if flipping a hand when a matter came up, even after he said he wouldn't talk. In front of her, the female second lieutenant was dumbfounded. However, the moment that Yu IlHan turned his head while saying that it was fine if they didn't need them, she came to her senses and shouted urgently. I'll buy. We'll buy them. Then I'll sell it to you. If possible, the magic stones too. I won't sell those. Yes. TCH. Yu IlHan bargained with the second lieutenant while he kept dismantling the dogs. The second lieutenant said that she didn't have the authority to decide and contacted her superiors, and those superiors who learned well that they needed to use the monsters' bodies in the end to go against the monsters, accepted Yu IlHan's offer right away. However, in truth, monsters were appearing in the whole world and not just Korea. Of course, strong monsters such as the direwolf that Yu IlHan killed didn't appear, but sightings of those as strong as the wandering dog were quite frequent, and those were in the range of what the K2, K3, and grenades from the strong Korean military friends could manage. But why did they nod their heads when Yu IlHan said that he will sell the bodies? That was because of the state of the bodies. The strong friends from the military shoots guns when they meet monsters. Even soldiers confident in their physical ability would shoot guns. Just those at the level of the wandering dog would have unbelievably thick skin, so they needed to use several tens of rifle bullets, and sometimes grenades to kill them with no difficulties. As a result, the state of the corpses would normally be horrible to look at. The leather would be damaged to the point of being considered trash, and the bones would shatter. So, although it may be possible to use it for research, it would be impossible to use it on its own. In contrast, how was the state of the bodies of the wandering dogs that Yu IlHan hunted? Even otherworlders would raise up their thumbs as they looked at Yu IlHan, who would insta-kill monsters with the least amount of damage, and call him the best hunter. Even that would be a good deal for them, but if his dismantling skills were also accounted for, then they would become speechless. The scene where the intact corpses separated into leather, bones, and meat as if they were like that from the beginning, was passed to the second Lieutenant Han Yeorang's superiors without problems no matter how bad the quality of her phone camera was. Second Lieutenant Han, don't ever let him go. Drag him here using any means other than violence. But he says that he will never talk with us. Even if you have to use a honey trap, drag him here. The strong friend and beauty Second Lieutenant Han Yeorang, who heard the word honey trap for the first time in a real situation since she was born, was in agony. Did she have to quit the military after beating up her superiors, or did she have to take him to the optometrist to check his eyesight? I will try to persuade him. In the end, her grass-root-sized patriotism and the even smaller soldier's attitude grabbed a hold of her. However, before Han Yeorang ended the call with an amazingly small voice after killing her emotions, Yu IlHan, who finished dismantling the dogs and was about to go into working with the wolves, spoke. I will exchange in cash, so please get it ready. So he says, sir. Han Yeorang wanted to cry. This was the tragedy of the middle woman. On another hand, Yu IlHan finished dismantling while humming. Unlike yesterday when he fought with the insect monsters, he had gained more. It was because it was easier to process animal bones and leather in comparison to insect carapaces. Of course, the wolf's bones weren't metal, so it would be impossible to melt them down, but he could recreate them into defensive equipment and weapons according to the innate structure of the bones, and the leather would become good defensive equipment without a doubt. Not only that, he would be able to create other artifacts using the magic stones. However, the more important profit were the magic stones. He didn't know while he was killing, but the leader, the dire wolf, and the vice leader, the big wolf, both had magic stones. Moreover, unlike the soybean-sized magic stone from the big mantis, the direwolf's magic stone was about the size of an almond chocoball. It looks quite tasty. Never. A magic stone isn't something that a human can intake directly. Do you want to be controlled by the monster's mana? Whoa! Yu IlHan, who heard Erda's sharp warning, voiced his horror. Because, wasn't this too blatant of a foreshadowing? Yu IlHan, a trained loner, ended up predicting the disaster that her words would bring. Sometime in the future, humans would turn into monsters by swallowing magic stones in their greed to become stronger faster, and Yu IlHan would fight against them. Yu IlHan could assure himself that this would happen not just once, but many times, as humans are foolish and would repeat the same mistakes. He lost all his strength as he already knew that, so Yu IlHan rolled the guiltless magic stones in his hands. The magic stones are sure pretty. Yeah, well, excluding the boss and the mid-boss magic stones, the trivial magic stones that Yu IlHan harvested numbered about 20. Han Yeorang gulped when she saw that. Combining all of those, it would end up equaling an enormous amount of money even in Gundia, the other world that she had gone to. And as it was one of the key materials to make artifacts that everyone wanted on Earth, its value would multiply by hundreds or thousands of times. Of course, it was a different story as to who could create such artifacts. What? Shall I use a honey trap? While Han Yeorang was thinking idiotic things, Yu IlHan organized the magic stones and the dismantled wolf bodies. To carry them, he temporarily made a bag using the wolf leather, and he put the leather, bones, and magic stones inside it. And when he put all of them inside, what was remaining were the mountains of wolf monster meat. Is this edible? If you have the weak poison resistance skill. At Erda's cool-headed words, he gave up on the wolf meat. However, when he was about to put the bag on his shoulder, Han Yeorang approached him carefully and asked with pitiful eyes, "Can you sell some magic stones and some of the gray wolf leather?" T/N asked cutely. Nope. Okay. How could he reject so refreshingly? Was he some stiff general in his past life? T/N. Actually, this was a pun in Korean. Ross are literally, was he some Danhobak farmer in his past life? With Danhobak being a pun of Danho, being determined, Han Yeorang, who spoke with a bit of cuteness, had to step back with tears in her eyes when her charm didn't work on him. She resolved to beat the soldiers up until they were half dead when they went back. At that time, the cash arrived. It was a cash delivery service with a lieutenant colonel level personnel and a government personnel attached as bonus. Yu IlHan wanted to refund just the bonus, but things didn't turn out that way. It was said that the goddess of fortune and the goddess of misfortune always came in pairs, and it seemed like it was true. You're really amazing. To think that you killed all those monsters with your strength alone. Nonsense. Starting with those words were completely chewed by Yu IlHan, and he just quietly checked the amount of money. T/N. Chewed is a Korean way of saying ignored. You can chew someone's words means you can ignore someone's words. 370 million won in total is almost equal to 320,000 US dollars. His hands trembled lightly. Despite the 1,000 years of training, he couldn't not be nervous in front of the enormous sum of money in front of him. It was because despite the fact that he had driven big ships and high-class sports cars, he had yet to steal from banks. No matter how good of a condition that the leather and the bones are in, considering that the wandering dogs are less than level 20, this is quite generous. It's highly possible that they want to leave ties with you. As expected, it's like that, right? Yu IlHan carried the bag on his shoulders. Yu IlHan, who confirmed that their gazes were fixed on the bag with the wolf leather in it, which was incomparably more valuable than some wild dog, he relaxed and spoke. The exchange is over, right? This is my money, right? Of course it's yours. However, before that, why don't we tell? We'll probably see each other again soon. Ha! Yu IlHan retorted icily and ran an app after taking out his smartphone. It was an app he downloaded after realizing something yesterday in the campus square. The app's function was very simple. It would flash an enormous amount of light in one moment. After the flash, everyone there, except Yu IlHan himself, closed their eyes for a moment and opened. What was that? He's not here. He disappeared. He disappeared in such a short time? Just how high level is he? Just what kind of vision did he acquire in the other world? T/N. The Ross literally says vision, but I don't know what it is. Maybe a reference to an anime or SMTH. Amazing? Sungdine Bolt? No M*NNBLCK. Of course, there was no need to explain. Yu IlHan was still right in front of them. T/N LOL. Even though the passive concealment wasn't active during the fight, if he distracted their gazes, then the concealment would activate again. What Yu IlHan used was the gap in recognition. Shall we go now? The time it will take for heaven to move due to my report is 1 day. I'm sorry, but during that time we'll need to keep moving. Dangerous monsters would have shown themselves in other places as well. Okay. Let's go after leaving this in a safe place. And I need to check that class thing. Yu IlHan left the people who were desperately searching for him and moved his body. His long day had only began. Author's notes: next chapter, he will get his class. I was trying to shove it in this chapter, but it was too long. I should give him a mask full of originality and strip him of the Iron Man mask. After Yu IlHan's busy day finishes, in other words, chapter 3 finishes, I can say that the main novel will start. Please look forward to it. Translator's notes: disassembly will now be called dismantling. THX guys. Strong friend refers to the military. Poor second lieutenant. LOL. What I love about this author is he gives blatant foreshadows, and that the MC knows them. Weak poison dash, strong poison. The other two will come up later.